The next Legend and Flashback collection here at MLB The Show 22 was just announced today. So I'm going to be going through and breaking down and giving my prediction on how many cards you're going to need in each card type. If it's anything like George Brett 1, it's going to be an absolutely insane card. But importantly as well, it's probably going to be pretty difficult. With my George Brett collection predictions, I was pretty aggressive with a lot of those predictions. At least I thought. I was still off on a couple of my numbers on a little bit more of the conservative side. So we're definitely going aggressive with these numbers. Hopefully I'm overshooting what you're needing for this collection that's upcoming. But again, that George Brett collection was very, very difficult. They did not make it easy at all. They're going to give us an insanely high quality card. It's not going to be an easy collection to get here as well. We've had a lot of cards added over the last couple weeks, the last few months. So let's dive into it. Let's break down each card type. I'll go through and talk about where I think you need to be come Friday. So first off out the gate, we'll start with the All-Star Game. Almost certainly that Jackie itself would be the voucher here, and you'll probably need to collect the 44 All-Star cards to get Jackie, and then you can utilize him as a voucher. So that's going to be our first one. That one should be pretty straightforward. Not an easy one by any stretch, especially since they haven't added any more All-Star games other than what we've gotten. So you can only skip one card right now as it stands. So a difficult collection to get done. Assuming that we can skip one voucher, for the most people, this is probably going to be the one that you skip. But if you have Jackie done, he will most certainly count for that collection in some way. Moving on now, the future stars. 27 got you George Brett. You can see I'm missing some myself. I need to come in, pick up a few of these that I don't have. At the current moment, we're up to 41 future stars in the game as they've been adding more, event rewards, headliners. We just got this Robert Hassel today, the highest overall future star that we have as the new headliner. So they've been adding more. I think this one's going to end up being around 35 of the 41 you needed. You get 30 through that future star program. They're back in this program as well, so you can get another handful there. So for the most part, most of these are relatively cheap, which I think is going to lead SDS to pumping this one up. I'm going 35 of 41. On to the tops now. This is not one that you should really worry about. As long as you've even remotely kept up with your tops now moments, you should have no issues. If you've done a little bit BR, you've gotten some of these ones from BR as well. Currently, by what I've been able to calculate, we have 83 Tops Now cards available here in this collection. So I'm going to predict and go out and say 65. That's almost double what we needed for George Brett, but we get 3 to 4 Tops Now cards every week. Plus we're getting them through the BR program. Tons of Tops Now cards that are super easily obtainable. I need to go through, do the most recent week's moments myself. With how easily these cards are available for you to get, they're probably going to make it quite a bit. This one should be a relatively easy one to knock out though. Moving on to the Tekashi collection. Since Babe Ruth was used as a voucher replacement for the George Brett collection, I think they're going to expand this past this Babe Ruth. I don't expect us to just be able to use Babe Ruth again for this next Legend and Flashback collection. So we are up to 19 Tekashi cards through the pack that came out. We had the program that gave us these 4 right here. We're up to 19 right now. I'm gonna go a little bit aggressive with this one. I'm gonna go with 15. You can just miss 4 based off that. I need to go through and get some myself because I'm missing the Feller, the Soriano, the Honus, Ozzie Smith, and the Maddox. I need to pick some up as well. 19 total in the game right now, so I'm going with a prediction of 15 needed for that next voucher. With cover athletes, probably able to use Mauer again, but if not, that is going to take away what would be a relatively easy voucher to obtain. You were able to use Mauer in the George Brett collection, so maybe you're not able to double dip on him and use that Mauer again. If you can't, it is going to make it a little bit difficult, as this would provide an easy voucher to complete, allow you to skip another one. So if you haven't done it, I don't hate the idea of making sure you have Joe Mauer just to be safe, because if he's used, probably see some of these prices go up. On to Milestone, just 15 Milestone cards in the game right now, and that's including the brand new Billy Hamilton that came out with the Pin and Race rewards today. So 15 Milestone cards in the game. We needed 6 for George Brett. I'm gonna come in and say that we're gonna need 10 of these 15 here for whatever new collection that's upcoming. Maybe even push that up to a 12 or 13. A couple of these can be relatively expensive. Obviously, Clemente, not easy to get. Cedric Mullins is 100,000. Nolan Ryan, 200K. A guy like Longo's at 80K right now. There are some relatively pricey cards here in these Milestone collection. Even a guy like Dontrell Willis, 20k stubs. That adds up really, really quickly. I'm going at 10 though, maybe a little on the low side here of 10 to 15. Without too many, I think they're going to keep it a little bit more obtainable. Onto our 6 series. We've not gotten many more 6 series cards in the game since George Brett came out. You can see we need to collect 5 for a George Brett. We just have 8 6 series cards in the game at the current moment. So I'm going with 7 of the 8. I think you're going to be able to miss 1, and that is it, which can be relatively expensive, especially if you don't have Randy. You know, this is where the value of having that live series collection done. You have him done, you could have Musina and Michael Young as well. And then you come and pick up Willie Stargell, 22, Glavine, 27, Jay Buhner, 26, Suter, 18, John Franco, 14. So definitely not cheap by any stretch of the matter. Those are going to add up pretty quickly. 6 series is going to be a tough one if you're left coming up a little bit short come Friday, and you're going to have to scramble around to pick up a few cards. Moving on to awards, we needed 10 for that George Brett. And just like Takashi, we now have 19 award cards in the game at the current moment. That's including the brand new Cody Bellinger that dropped today. So I'm thinking we're going to need 15 of the 19 award cards currently in the game. So that allows you to miss 4 award cards if you're looking at it that way, which there are some expensive ones. I mean, Frank, not easy to get. Obviously, the brand new Cody Bellinger is at max price, but even a guy like Javi Baez is around 90K. Pujols is up to 51K. Reggie Jackson, 55K. Previous World Series awards. A lot of these guys gonna be relatively expensive, especially if you don't have your live series collection done and you don't have the Frank Thomas or the Keuchel, players of that nature. There are some cheaper ones, you know, Houston Street, Will Myers. There's some guys closer down to that quick sell range, but 19 award cards in the game. I'm going with 15. It's probably going to be a pretty difficult one to get. I mean, even a guy like Brandon Crawford at 31K, and we could see some of these prices creep up as we get closer and closer to Friday with that collection dropping. And if the requirements are insane, we could see prices shoot through the roof on Friday as well. On to Prime now. We're sitting with 22 Prime cards in the game. We got quite a bit from the current program, the All-Star Game program. You know, guys like this Elvis Andrus, Clippard, Ryu, O'Day. They threw out a lot of cards in those 30 legends and flashbacks that we got. So because those were all given to us for free, I think Prime is going to be quite a difficult one in terms of the number needed. Just missing 1 Prime card, so I'm feeling pretty good. But I'm going with 18 of 22 Prime cards here. Again, because of how many we got, you know, even this Locane, this Conforto, they gave us a solid handful for free in the most recent program. Don't even have to get too far into that to unlock all those legends and flashbacks. So because of that, I think they have a little bit more ability to push the envelope with how many you need as a percentage basis for these Prime cards. And so I'm going with 18 of 22. So similar to our awards, can only miss 4 based off that. But there are some relatively attainable ones. You know, David Ortiz, you have your collections done. You got Utley, you got Glass, you got Sizemore. There's some ones that are coming in not too crazy as well. Carlos Carrasco down here at Quick Sell. You know, a guy like Matt Carpenter close to Quick Sell. So there's no real crazy gatekeepers here with the Prime cards. None of them are super, super expensive like we're going to have in other card types. You know, it seems like Springer's probably actually the most expensive Prime card at 47,000 stubs. So not too bad of a collection. If you are missing some, you should be able to pick them up for the most part relatively cheaply. Moving on now, Face of the Franchise may be utilized as well. You only had to get 27 for Brett, so they didn't max it out and have you be forced to take all 30. So maybe they utilize that here and you have to collect all 30 for this new collection award in a way to reward players who have been playing since the game launched. Maybe they just ditch Face of the Franchise entirely and it's not utilized at all. But if it is, certainly would expect this to be all 30 of them. You got to use every single one of them. You collect 30. Maybe you utilize that as another way to get an easy voucher in for players, again, who have been keeping up with the game and playing the game since release, a way to reward them in a sense. Another one that may not be utilized is the prospect collection. For George Brett, you had to get 40 prospect cards. Well, currently, there's only 45 prospect cards in the game, so you could only miss 4 at that point. So do they come back and make you collect all 45 prospect cards as a voucher for this next legend and flashback collection? Would not be shocked to see that. I think it's either going to be you're going to have to collect all of them and have 45, or it's not going to be utilized at all. I feel like it makes sense that they'd come in and say, hey, collect 45. If you're able to do that, great. That's another voucher that you get. Maybe we have the opportunity to skip a couple vouchers in that sense, where they have a couple of these that are super hard to get rewarding people who have been playing all year long. But if you don't have the ability to get those, at least in an inexpensive sense, you can skip those and focus on other ones. I think that's likely. Personally, me, I'm going to have all 45 prospects just to be safe. I don't want to be left rambling to try to get those. On now to monthly awards, one that you shouldn't have to worry about too much, assuming that you've completed your player of the month program so far. You haven't been selling off those cards. You should have no issue just utilizing the free ones we've gotten, plus the lightning cards, plus the legend lightning cards. Should be totally fine to knock this out relatively easily. Currently, we're sitting at 38 player of the month cards, so I'm gonna say 30 on the safe end. If you're needing to come back in, maybe you've sold some, pick some up. I think 30 is probably a pretty solid number to aim for. This one should be one that most players are capitalizing on and utilizing as a very cheap, almost free voucher for the next collection. Moving on now to second half heroes. This is a tough one. It is gonna be one that sneaks up on people. As you can see here, this is the lowest overall second half heroes card in the game. That is Brandon Webb. There are 0 second half cards that are not at least a diamond here in MLB The Show 22. Now, a lot of these you do get for free through programs, but if you've missed some of these programs, you got to come in and buy a guy like Austin Meadows. Currently 7,200 stubs. You can get these from the chase packs now. So if you've missed those programs, you have to come in and pick a decent chunk of these cards up that are gonna run you, you know, that 8 to 9, 10,000 subs a piece. That's gonna add up relatively quickly over time. Then we get down into some of these bottom tier cards, these higher overall. We got Mike Napoli for 111,000, Yu Darvish for 94K, Vlad Sr. for 84K. You know, even a guy like Marcus Semien is gonna come in at 40K. Larry Walker, 14K, not too bad there. Blake Snell, you know, you're getting for free in the current program. And then we got a guy like Jim Edmonds from a previous BR, 24,000 on him. He's a guy that you can't obtain anymore right now, and he could be flying up. I'm actually gonna make sure, I'm just gonna buy this Jim Edmonds right now, because that's a card, 90-point reward from a previous BR program. You can't obtain anymore. We could see his price shoot up when it comes time to the collection if we need a lot of those. All that being said, some difficult to obtain cards here for the second half heroes. I mean, even a guy like J.R. Richard, 36,000 stubs. I am going with 32 of 40, so you can skip 8 second half heroes cards. You think, man, that's a solid amount to skip, but when they're all diamonds, a couple of them pretty expensive, this is a very sneaky collection that can be difficult to complete on Friday. Now, these last handful of collections, these should be one that you're able to complete relatively easily. You shouldn't have to worry too much, but maybe just go through it. If you're missing a couple cards here and there, pick them up just to be safe. Rookie here, we got 48 rookie cards in the game. We can see the majority of these are golds, silvers, bronzes, and then a couple diamonds. But even our diamonds, not too expensive. Some of these you're getting for free as well. I'm going with 40 of 48 rookie cards. Again, a lot of these given out for free or through BR programs or through player programs. Rookie collection should not be a difficult one for you, but 40 of 48, if you're missing some, maybe come in here, pick up just a couple. You can see right here, I don't have JT Realmuto. I should probably come in and pick them up for, you know, 1,500 stubs just to be safe, and then I got them all. Moving on to breakout, we got 46 breakout cards in the game, so I'm gonna go with 40 of 46 breakout cards. Really, all pretty obtainable. Even a guy like Clayton Kershaw, one of our few diamond breakout cards and a World Series award, is just 19,000 stubs on the buy now right now. So all of these cards relatively easy to get. There's a couple that may run the price tag up just a little bit, but overall not too bad. Shouldn't be a collection you worry about too much. 40-46 on the breakout. Now on to All-Star, we have a ton of All-Stars, so this could be one where you need to make sure you've come in and filled in some of the gaps, so to speak, from cards you're possibly missing. You see, I'm missing 1, 2, 3. You know, I'm missing a handful of All-Star cards that I need to make sure I pick up just to be safe, because we got 88 All-Star cards in the game. So I'm gonna say that we're gonna need 70, maybe even 75 cards here for this All-Star collection. None of them too expensive at the end of the day, but a couple that may sneak up on you and jump up in price when it comes to collection day. So 88 All-Star cards in the game, 70, 75, as long as you're within that range, you should be sitting pretty. On to veteran now, we're chilling with 38 veteran cards. I'm gonna come in and say, as long as you have 30 veteran cards, I'd be feeling pretty confident. A collection type that definitely is very obtainable to have every veteran card in the game. So come in, hit 38 if possible. They could go super aggressive and go maybe a 35 to give it a little bit more distance between George Brett. That was just 28 veteran cards for George Brett. So maybe they don't want to just do a +2. They want to gap that a little bit more, go up to a 35 or 38. Could make this a little bit tricky of a collection. Shouldn't be too bad overall. Finally, on to postseason. We are rocking with 20 postseason cards. Needed 12, I believe, of 13 for George Brett. I'm going with 17 of 20 here on the postseason collection. Most of these cards, again, relatively obtainable. You should be able to come in, pick some up. You see I'm missing Jimmy Fox there and Brooks Robinson. Both of them right at quick sell value, so I'll be able to pick those up relatively easily. Smaller card type though, so it can be possible to be missing a few cards that you're not prepared for. I'm going with 17. I'll probably make sure I have all 20 come collection day. 17 though, that's a number I feel safe with. So that is what I got. Those are my prediction numbers here for this next Legends and Flashback collection. Again, we were pretty accurate when it came to George Brett. If anything, we were a little conservative with our numbers. So I definitely went aggressive this time. In total, we're looking at 18 possible vouchers. So how many will you need? 15, 16, 17, maybe even all 18. Probably depends on the quality of the card. If it's an insane card, they're not going to make it easy. As always, y'all have any questions about this upcoming collection, definitely hit me up down in the comment section below. And if y'all enjoyed this video, definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Until next time, I'll catch y'all around.